live.
Welcome, dudes, to this incredible Toon show, guys. Welcome to Toons Up North, Nerdy Up North's premier cartoon show, where we review the cartoons we sometimes remember and
Mm,
find out if they're as bad or as good as we remember. I am joined as always by my cartoon co-host. It's Paul,
yes,
dudes. How you doing,
I-
sir?
I'm not too bad. I am impressed. I have to say, that was one of the best Turtles impressions from the cartoon, of a mixture of all four of the Turtles combined to do a voice. That
Maybe,
that was that was just
maybe.
impressive there. So well done, Jake. And what?
But yeah,
What? Who is that in the middle
yeah.
there?
Who's that? Who is he?
Who is he? What are you doing here? Yes, if you haven't noticed, we've got someone who isn't green this week. Um, he is the lean, mean fighting machine. That is Daddy Lee. Hello, Lee.
Hello.
So,
Totally tubular, dude.
so yes, Lee
He's
wasn't.
rude and crude, everyone.
He's
Look out.
he's a hero and a half shell. Turtle power. So yes, Lee wasn't meant to be on, but Lee's been having a rough week. So me and Jake, being the fine, upstanding dudes in Nerdy Up North, we thought we'd pull the dude in and say, "Dude, do you like turtles?" And Lee was like, "Yeah, I like the turtles." I say, "Do you like pizza?" He's like, "Yeah, I like pizza." And he's like, "Do you like aliens?" He's like, "Fuck yeah, I love aliens." So like, we'll get you on and talk about this shit. So yes.
Thought I was coming on because of how big of a turtle fan I am. I didn't realise it was a pity invite.
So
Thanks, Paul.
to be fair though, Lee, every invite is a pity invite. Never forget that. So yes.
No, we thought you'd needed cheering up like in Clockwork Orange, where they made him watch cartoons to make him happier. That's what happened, right? In that movie.
So we're doing the happy joy moment with Ren and Stimpy.
Yeah. Yeah, that might have to be our like forever finale when we watch some Ren and Stimpy and just lose our minds.
Losing my minds, but yes. So
But yes, this was a Paul's pick.
Mhm.
What was the episode called again?
It was Case of the Killer Pizzas.
Yes, which putting killer in the title is bold for a kids
Mhm.
cartoon. And doing a parody of an R-rated horror movie is also bold for a kids cartoon.
They went hard with this
um,
episode as well. It was quite surprising, but the
yeah,
main reason I chose this one is because I think everyone around our age range owned this on VHS. I think
yep.
like everyone had like a range of VHSs from our childhood. Some people might have had a Thundercat, some people might have had a He-Man, but I can guarantee everyone had the Case of the Killer Pizzas on
Yeah,
VHS for the Turtles.
I did. And I think we put it in the Discord and Sarah Peach said she had it too.
Mhm.
Lee, did you have it?
If it wasn't recorded off the telly, we didn't have it on video.
Oh, okay. Well, you
Huh.
still might have, I suppose. I just want to shout out one of the other great tips I had as a kid, which was a Ren and Stimpy one with the one where they get trapped in the zoo and pretend to be monkeys, and then the one where they pretend to be fire dogs. But the videotape itself was bright Nickelodeon orange, and it was amazing.
Right. I remember
They
the
don't make them
artwork.
like that anymore.
No, I remember the artwork for this cover being absolutely amazing as well. I think that's why most people our age bought it. I was like, what the hell is these yellow creatures on there? So look at it. Oh,
Wah!
he's coming in. He's coming in hard.
It must have been a bargain bin deal, though, right? Surely, or it must have been like £3 because it was only one episode, like
I
20
think
minutes
I,
worth.
I think it had that was the main episode, but then it had two other
Yeah.
episodes in with it because you used to get like an hour,
Okay.
but because it used to be
You'd
like
hope so.
yeah, because I used to be like the Friends videos. You remember when Friends first came out? You used to get 3 episodes per
Mm,
video, so they used to bring out
that's rough.
half a season every 6 months. So people were like clamoring over them and type thing. Uh,
That would have
fu-
took so much space up in your
to be honest, though,
house.
and VHSs weren't cheap as well. People complain about the prices of stuff like DVDs and stuff. Then back then, I think a VHS was around between 15 to 20 quid.
Yeah, you're right though. Like 3 tapes was about the max they could get away with in a box set. Because I used to get the rectangle cube of 3 tapes
Mhm.
that you would have to get. But yeah, it's interesting. Um, but yeah, I remember being scared of this episode when I was a kid because it combines everything. It combines all of my fears from media into one thing, which is tiny creatures, things escaping into the vents or behind like the washer and dryer or whatever. Yeah, that guy. And aliens. Xenomorphs always terrified me when I was a kid. Which that the working is intended. They're supposed to be nightmare creatures, like right, and it's like, but yeah. So I remember being a bit scared of this as a kid and kind of looking at pizzas afterwards and being like, is there an egg on the top of it?
What
Well,
about
I
you?
never microwave pizza as a
No,
kid.
no, that threw me a bit this episode. What about you, Lee? Can you remember this as a child, or was this the first time viewing?
Can't remember it as a child, but I did watch this along with my last running of the Turtles about 5 years ago.
Yeah.
Where I've tried to watch like from the start to finish. Where like it's difficult to find the episodes on YouTube, or some of them you have to Google and show up on like Daily Motion or something like that. And there's just episodes missing everywhere. It's difficult to get them all in. But
I found them all.
Jake is the holy grail of all turtles. But you said you watched it with your little one as well. So what was that experience like, though, Lee?
oh, she was absolutely hooked on it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, she already kind of liked the Turtles a bit anyway, because when she was little, we taught her all of our like animal noises, like
Yeah.
cow says moo, sheep says ba, turtle says cowabunga, dude, and she's always said that for like the past 3 years or something. So
Yeah.
when I put the Turtles on the other day, she was just glued to the telly for the good 20 minutes at a time.
All right, cool.
Excellent.
And she's got a
She
little
didn't
bit
watch
of
anything
love
either.
for the aliens as well, though, hasn't she?
Oh yeah. We Alien Queen NECA thing. She always comes and looks at that, and the facehuggers. They stole me chest bursters though,
Yeah.
and lost them. And she used to take them into our room, and she'd sit and be like, "Once upon a time, there were 3 little chest bursters, and the first one built a house of hay." Tell stories with them. No fear, that kid.
No. So, bless her. So this episode was first aired February 7th, 1990, just to make us feel that little bit older there as well. So this was on
it was
the
2 years old.
yeah. So this was on the cusp of the 90s. So just peeking out its little head from the 80s as well.
Yeah.
As said, I remember watching this, and as Jake said, the themes and the tones of this, especially when the aliens come in, is quite genuinely scary, and especially for what was classed as a kids' cartoon, because there's elements of this cartoon that is so childlike and like fun. It's hilarious, but then when these little creatures get involved, it becomes like a full blown horror movie.
Yeah, in the sewers, which is, as everyone knows, a great setting for a horror adventure. But yeah, like like thinking on it, writers clearly love themselves some aliens, and they're like, yeah, we can get this in. No, Ridley Scott's not gonna sue us. He's not gonna see this crap, right?
Definitely.
Yeah, what I didn't remember about the Turtles was how the music swings from very good to very bad, like back and forth. Because the theme tune is obviously excellent. It's one of like the greatest cartoon theme songs of all time. So much so they still have to use it when they do like new turtle stuff. Like they've never escaped this song. But yeah, what was it like for you guys watching the theme song again? Because for me, I was just like, oh, this is one of the best like pieces of animation as well.
It absolutely just smashed us in the face with nostalgia. It was like, this is bringing me back to my childhood, and as you said, you can't help but just smile from ear to ear as soon as you hear it, and like you forget about like the words that it's in it as well, like and like the kind of like intertwining bit. It's like the saying, so like Michelangelo's a party dude, and he goes party.
Yeah. When I was a kid, I thought you said "wahey," but
Yeah.
I realized now that's a very English thing to say.
But yeah, I absolutely
Also,
start.
like I remember loving the animation as well. Like that part where Splinter like kicks himself out of a box. Like it just looks really good. There's a lot of like splintered wood flying everywhere, and I'm like, they took the time for this like 30, 40 seconds.
that's what I was going to mention as well, because animation-wise, you can tell they spent the budget on the intro.
Yeah.
Because going through the show, like, fair enough, like, everything is iconic, and you can see, like, shapes and colors doesn't have to be exact, and there's a lot of mistakes I noticed in this episode which made us laugh as well. But the actual animation, it's still I don't want to say it's not as good as I remember, because I remember being obsessed as a kid of recreating the drawings and recreating like, this is where my love of art came from, was
Yeah.
drawing the turtles and drawing like in the action pieces. But I guess if I watch more episodes, you'll probably notice how quick they get the art out, how much they reuse certain things, and it's it's one of
Yeah.
those things where it's quite quick art rather than like quality art, if that makes sense.
Yeah. And the characters just sort of like they don't really like walk, or like they don't travel to where the next place is gonna be.
Mm,
They sort of like float. Like they'll do like these jumps that go like 50 feet across the room. And it's like, yeah, I guess animating motion is hard. So if you
mm,
can kind of just slide everyone around, it
I
makes it
still
easier.
I still prefer this kind of animation. I don't know if it's like a nostalgia thing,
mhm.
but all of like the new versions of the turtles, it's like, what's what's going on with Raphael's like fucking octagon head and
Yeah.
stuff like that? Everything's all straight edges and it
Mm.
looks horrible. But like it's beautifully curved and
Yeah,
it's taken care of.
I tell you,
Yeah, that I have wondered that, like, you know
mm,
how we've had all these like retro revivals. Like I have wondered like why haven't they just like done this
mm,
style? Because even like even some Mario Brothers like new games have used like the hand drawn 2D art style from the 90s.
mhm,
Um but Turtles, like they did come back in the 2000s for a special episode, but other than that, I don't think they've like use this art style. In
mm.
that video game, maybe, but not in like cartoons.
Yeah, probably
Seems
the
like a
video.
slam dunk to me.
Yeah, the video game is probably the one that they've like, and look how successful the game was as well by using the same
Yeah,
art style. One bit again, I know this is a complete error, like, and they've just left it in, but if you go back, you might not have noticed it, but when the turtles are fighting the pizza aliens in the sewer, at one
yeah,
point you get Raph fighting the alien, and he kicks it up the bum and it falls over, and the next
yeah.
thing you've got Leonardo fighting it, and then
Oh, it just stops them.
he flips over, and then the alien just bends over and picks up, and it turns out it's Raphael, but it's using Leonardo's voice. So they've clearly mixed up like the turtles, or like went, oh, but we haven't got the budget, we need it out quick, we can't fix this little continue error type thing. But
Yeah.
I was like laughing it off. I was like, oh, someone fucked up.
God, like the voice performances as well were like much more insane and over the top than than I remembered as a kid. Like you could physically hear the voice actors like putting their entire like every bit of effort into it. Like especially Shredder,
Yeah.
like Uncle Phil from Fresh Prince. He was just you could almost hear him straining like the voice lines out. It was like nuts. Like why were they doing that?
You could tell
Is
he
it
was
just
having the time of his life, though, as well.
yeah? Just being
The
like,
voice
oh
acting
no,
people are
I
crazy.
hate
Like
anchovies.
looking at IMDb, there's only about 10 voice actors or something that have worked on this show, and there's like
The whole thing.
160 episodes.
Mhm.
All them characters is just 10 people talking to themselves.
I did
Hours.
notice that. I did notice Vernon was definitely one of the turtles, either like Raph
Uh,
or Leonardo. So yeah, we probably didn't notice as kids, but there was a few double ups on there.
but that was the thing I
Yeah,
loved about this as well. Is when I thought about the turtles, like, you always think about the core four: Shredder, Krang,
yeah,
Rocksteady, Steve, B-Body, but you do forget about like side characters like Vernon. So
yeah,
it was like shit. Yeah, he was really annoying. He's back. And then April's friend, like, I only watched it like today, and I've already
yeah.
forgotten her name. That's how
Was it,
memorable
like
she was.
Elmer or
Elmer or
something,
something. That's it. It was like a really
something like
weird,
that.
but I can still remember her like throughout being like April's little weird friend who like didn't
Yeah,
believe in the turtles and stuff like that. I was like, oh, April's just being silly again.
she she was the Velma of the show, but It's odd though, because she's painted as like the ugly like side character, and it's like she's not ugly, but
No.
she does wear old lady clothes.
She reminds us of Janine Phelps, or
Yeah,
whatever she's called from Ghostbusters, but with brown hair instead of
yeah.
bright red or whatever
But
it was.
April, her outfit's nuts. Like she wears that like yellow jumpsuit every day, apparently.
That's got to be
No
like,
matter what.
like even in America wearing a jumpsuit like that, it's going to get warm. It's going to get nasty. April, please get a wash. But she's not about in the sewers as well, though. So is that just hiding about the smell? But we get like to
Yeah,
see a whole host of characters in this episode as well, which I absolutely loved.
Yeah, because we'll go through it a bit, because we do sometimes try and hit the stuff in order. But you very early on see full on Krang in his sumo wrestling baby mech suit. But also like he's stuck through the portal, and I do remember this being like a small sort of plot point. And it shows up in some of the video games as well, where like Krang comes through this portal before he fights you. So it looks like he's gonna draw him at some point, and then he's trapped in like Dimension X or whatever with Rocksteady and Bebop, apparently, and they can kind of pass things to each other like through the portal. But yeah, I was a bit disappointed. Bebop and Rocksteady were stuck and not really in the episode, apart from when they were like watching on TV, being like, "This is great, boss."
Being the Chuckle Brothers, but yeah. Well, we got early Baxter Stockman as well, like
Oh
pre-Fly.
God, yeah, Human. The next episode is the Fly one, I think, in
Yeah.
the running order. But yeah, he was horrible. But that wasn't. He's like a character that as soon as I saw this, it was like nostalgia, like memory unlocked. Um, but yeah, so this is where we get the setup for like the alien eggs that they send through that have a list of instructions and a remote for the aliens.
And they just happen to look like meatballs.
Meatballs. I
Would
guess
the
you
meatballs
put
still
one.
hatch if they didn't go in the microwave?
That's the thing, yeah.
It
So it was kind of
seems
relying.
not.
It was kind of relying that everyone was going to microwave the pizza, or is that just an American
if
thing?
What if they just ate it there and then when they opened the box?
I know.
No more
Or
alien,
maybe you were supposed to eat it, and then it was supposed to be a real life
like
chest
chest out the
burster
burst.
situation.
Like it could be like a gremlin type thing. If you eat it, it multiplies or something like that. But
It
yeah,
was a bit Gremlins though, how when they got in the water, they just got bigger. Like that was probably one of the scary parts as well. Like, oh man, I just hate little gremlin creatures, man.
but this is, I think this episode made us relate to the turtles so much because, like Shredder's master plan is to basically infiltrate a free pizza tasting event in the city.
Yes.
So he steals all the flyers and he catches them in the most amazing way. Like the
Yeah, he
guy's
does
like,
a ninja.
oh, because he's dressed like a monk for some reason, walking around the street thinking no one's going to recognize him.
He's like, I'll take those, like with his
Loser.
metal face.
And then the guy goes, no, flings them all up, and he just like,
Yeah.
I would love to see Lee do it. Lee, do the shredder catching thing.
But then if you noticed he like, because it's a kid's cartoon, he can't use his like knives.
No.
His knife hands for anything, so he just uses it to open the fire hydrant, like it's a spanner or
It's
something.
like it's the tool for all uses there. So, but and
that,
again,
the catching all the paper things reminds us a lot of like in the movie with the bells in the smoke on the dummy thing. It's very like that.
No, good shout, good shout. But then he goes to Baxter. This is my plan, Baxter, and drops the papers down the sewer. Then turns the water on so it flushes it to the turtles.
Yeah.
No one exactly, like, to be fair, if you knew exactly where the turtles were going to be, why not just try and drown them or go down there and kill them? But no. But it wouldn't be a good
drown the turtles.
It would be more elaborate than like say the scheme that he is. So his idea is
there's a lot of dominoes that have to like fall into place for this like plan to work, and it all hinges on like some kind of contest where they're giving away 3 pizzas. Exactly 3,
Exactly
even
3.
though there's 4 turtles and way more like extra characters also.
One thing I did like about this bit as well, because I know we've talked about cartoon logic throughout this
Yeah.
podcast. It normally doesn't really hold up or stupid. The turtles and Splinter aren't stupid in this episode. They're just like I say, and this is where I kind of relate to them. There's the follow the stomach. Like
Yeah.
the water comes down, almost flushes the turtles away like Incy Wincy Spider. Then all these leaflets are stuck to all the turtles, and they go, "Oh, what's this, man?" And they check out pizza, and they're getting all excited. And Splinter goes, "Careful, my sons. If I look this carefully, you can see the slices that has clearly been made by
Yeah.
Shredder." And like the turtles are like, "Oh man, it's going to be a trap." And you think, "All right, then well, don't go." But no, then even Splinter knows they're not going to like not go, and he goes, "Okay, if
Yeah.
it's a trap, you guys better be careful." It's like,
Yeah, this was also the first moment where I realized how different all the voices were.
Mhm,
Because I think in my head
mhm.
everyone was Michelangelo,
Yeah.
but like Leonardo is like really like monotone and stuff. He's like,
Mm.
"Well, I don't know, Splinter. We will be careful." It's like it just makes me wonder about those kids who said Leonardo was the favorite.
Yeah, it's
You
like
know what I
why?
mean?
It might just like swords though. That's the thing.
I
Um,
know, but you gotta go for the personality. That's what the turtles are all about.
I don't think they got more personality until the movies came out.
right?
Like
Yeah,
especially
definitely.
Raphael in this cartoon
He's
is
like, "Hey everyone, it's me,
he's
Raphael."
yeah he's just a bit sarcastic every now and then, and that's about it. He doesn't
Yeah.
really have a
Also,
personality.
I can't remember which turtle it is. I think it is Raphael. Is Liquid Snake from Metal Gear Solid?
Right.
Really?
It's
Oh,
Cam Clark, yeah.
brother!
So
Oh.
yeah, this might have been everyone finding the footing and sort of learning as voice actors.
Mhm.
But yeah, like I said, Michelangelo and Shredder were just like going full in, like shouting into the microphone most of the time. Um, yeah, so we don't get the turtles in the signature trench coats. They just hide in an alleyway.
Like they're just hanging about saying, no one will see us. It's fine. But to be fair though, this isn't the
They've not
stealthist.
into the crowd.
But this isn't the stealthist episode for the turtles, shall we say? Because
No.
there's certain things that they do, and you think they're meant to be ninjas for fuck's sake. But yeah, so they're in the crowd. They get able to enter the contest for them, so that they go into for the prize of the pizzas.
Which
And
is smart.
yeah,
That part is smart.
and
Oh, we need to be careful. We've had a blimp for 7 episodes.
I love that blip.
can I just say though as well, and this is the what because we've talked about cartoon food as well on this podcast. This
Mm.
episode is the best cartoon food we have had to date. Them
So
pizzas
far,
looked unreal.
it's not the best in cartoon history, but so far we've just had like indistinguishable slop.
Mm.
And I forgot to say on last week, it looked like the X-Men were all sharing one sandwich in a diner at one point, like a grey sandwich. And
Like
I'm
a
just
sad
like, what?
sandwich. It's like
um,
apocalypse is back. Let's have a sandwich.
yeah, I did like obviously the turtles made probably all of us love pizza way more than we should.
mm,
So like I think the pizza world owes a lot to the Ninja Turtles, and I don't think they give back enough.
no, no, definitely. Especially when they brought out the turtles pizza that was green. Who wanted to eat a green pizza? This is just idiots, just idiots. But yeah. But then the turtles being the turtles, and this being like ridiculous, Baxter Stockman
Mhm.
goes and puts the eggs on top of the pizzas that's free, that's given away, and
Yep.
he's going to be hosting announcing the winners, and
Yeah,
uh,
the volunteer
I'm
from
just
the audience.
yeah,
I'm just trying to find a picture of the pizza that they actually win in the contest because I don't remember it having meatballs on to begin with. I think it was just a pepperoni pizza by the looks of it.
it was
No,
So
the
no,
all of
deluxe.
these
It was the
winners,
deluxe.
but if it's just got one meatball on each pizza, is that not a bit suspicious as well?
he does, and he puts it exactly in the
In the
middle
middle,
where
yeah.
all the slices meet, and it would just fall off immediately. And it's like glowing also. Michelangelo wouldn't have realized
No.
that. That is true, though.
And then unfortunately, this is where we find out how much of a kid's cartoon this is, because the Spot
Yeah.
Shredder, he goes into the pizza
What?
parlor.
He's doing trapeze tricks
Yeah,
on the sign for some reason.
he's showing his ninja
He's doing
skills by
flip.
doing flips and stuff and tricks. So he runs in. The turtles chase him in, and when the meet, you get him cornered. You think, yes, we're going to have the most epic fight with Shredder's spikes and all the weapons. No,
Nope.
they have a food fight.
Yep.
And
And then he's like, how about a donut?
yes.
He's got puns, Lee.
Oh, when I saw the donut, I went, Lee's going to love that. But yeah. Uh,
I did like the sound effects here though, because it was proper like cartoon, like splat noises when they were throwing all the shite everywhere.
it was entertaining as fuck. But the problem we've got is we've got these ninjas with these unbelievable kick-ass weapons, and we haven't even we've forgot to mention as well. For some reason, Michelangelo was training earlier by fighting a washing machine, which
He was with his nunchucks out as well. So
Yeah.
this is a rare early Michelangelo with his full-on dangerous band weapons, not a
But-
grappling hook like he gets in the second season.
no, but and again, this is always going to be the disappointment when it comes to like the Turtles cartoons, because for a kids show, you can't see Ninja Turtles fighting with their weapons against, like, say, the Shredder with his spikes, because that's not going to be kid friendly, especially not in the 90s. So we got them, like, as I said, we got the donut, we got them throwing pizza sauce over Shredder, and then hitting him in the face with a pizza, then pushing him out the door. And that's where Jake uttered the immortal line earlier. Oh, I hate anchovies.
Yeah, because I thought he was going to say I hate pizza, and I was about to be like, Shredder, don't you dare. Like, but no, he just hates that specific topping. I did like when Michelangelo walks in, he like sees like the cold pizza ingredients in the friggin' like the chill trays, and he's just like, whoa, pizza paradise. Like, we're just gonna eat the raw ingredients. Like it's not interesting until you're like in the oven section.
But yeah, and just like all the different elements that you get from this, like so far, it just makes you realize why you love this cartoon. The characters are so great, and the colors are so vibrant as well. So it's kind of like almost like you're being hypnotized. So we'll get to this part, and I'm still watching, going, where's these aliens that were being promised? Because this is probably a good halfway through the episode as well, and then like I say, they get the pizzas because for some reason the pizza delivery guys went, "Oh, we've just had 2 orders in, we haven't got them ready. Well, take the 2 pizzas from the contest and send them, and then we'll
the ones that have been sitting outside for at least 15 minutes or something."
We'll just send them. So the 2 of the pizzas with the eggs get sent off to we don't know where, and the other one gets given to the Turtles, who give it to April as a thank you. And in the meantime, April takes the pizza home, and for some reason goes, "I need my pizza's cold. I'm going to put it in the microwave." Why, America? Do you microwave pizza? Because it takes all the moisture out and it makes it all there.
I don't even think we had a microwave when the show was airing, like in my house. Also, the pizza box shrinks to the size of the microwave. Ashley carries it over, which is a great sign of like 80s and 90s cartoons when the perspective just changes to fit whatever's happening and stuff.
And without having the instructions, because we haven't been told about what instructions it is to work these little mites now. We get like the microwave ray go through, and they turn into this little creature, little thing, and he eats the pizza as well.
He does, he chows down.
But then one of the most weirdest thing ever happens. He just he doesn't actually attack April and the little friend. He just runs up to them going, "Nah."
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. There's a lot more like everyone standing around doing nothing, like while there's an alien in the room. And forgive me if I'm wrong, like April maybe has seen Krang once or twice, but like she shouldn't be used to aliens at this point.
No.
Like maybe mutants, but this is like This is like an entirely new creature. It's not just like an animal
To
man.
be fair though, she's seen a giant rat, so if she's not freaked out about Splinter, then a
Yeah.
little creature dude's not going to think. But Irma, she passes out, she faints, does the whole and dies.
Oh yeah.
Then we get the turtle phone, my little walkie-talkie, because
Yes.
Abel phones Leo on the turtle phone.
I love that thing.
Yes, that again. They didn't bring that out as a toy though, did they? I've
No,
never seen one.
I would have wanted that so much though.
No.
Would it have been like that thing on The Simpsons where like the Flintstones phone, like where you press it, it's like, "Cowabunga, I'm talking to you."
Actually, have you talked
Hey,
about
kid, I need you to hold this bag for me.
talk about
Don't tell anybody.
Tell about the Simpsons. Have you seen what they've just brought out as what you can buy?
Nah.
You can buy the phone from Moore's Bar that when you pick up, it says, "Have you seen IP freely?" or something like that.
Oh, like a different prank call every time.
So that you can
That'd be
actually buy that now. So yes, that might be the next collection. But yeah, and the little creature goes and the turtles just appear straight away at April's apartment, and then
Oh no,
try.
did not fly the blimp and ride the glider off or something.
No, that's when they go after the delivery guy.
Okay, yeah.
Yes, because they've got the other two pizzas that's out there. Remember,
but also like the alien creatures, they have like not acid blood, but like they have the acid as well. Like they've left no part of the alien sort of coin unturned here. It's just like they've used literally everything apart from facehuggers.
But can I just say as well, how shit are the turtles at capturing these little things? Because basically,
They just stand around.
they stand around. I think Donald Tano jumps at one. The alien just goes, yeah, moves out the way. So he falls over the chair. Then Raphael falls over or something like that. And I think Leonardo ended up just rolling the alien in the carpet. And they all go, yeah, job's done. Good job, guys. And that's when we find out that the alien can melt shit with just its hands by touching it. So that's when not just the carpet gets melted, but he melts the fucking wall.
Yeah, in like a New York apartment, so that's gonna be expensive to fix.
Yeah,
But yeah, you're right though. Like, why weren't they attacking with weapons? Me and Lee would have killed that thing with hammers. I'll tell you that much.
Lee would have been taking his shoe off, going bite to death there.
Mine, the hole in the back of the dryer goes through the sewers. That's a perfect. I mean, I don't know how high up April actually lives for it to go directly into the sewers from her apartment.
Yeah, that is interesting. And like,
Mm-hmm.
so yeah, you could just knock through your wall and be into like the cavernous tunnels of the New York system.
I've only just thought of that. I was about to say, oh, it'll be quite handy for the turtles to have like a little entrance into April's apartment. But
after
how are the sewers that high up?
After that, that's where they went in from now on. It was like, yeah, it's a little party hall.
But also, if an alien like breaks out of your house and goes through the back of your washing machine, I doubt any of us would crawl into the washing machine to go after it for any reason. Like, it would have to be a really good reason. Either a fire or another alien was behind me, but I am not going in a small hole with acid creatures.
Things that can burn
I'd probably
by
go
touch.
in just to get a photo.
To share in the group chat.
Lee's like, little fella, come back! I want to follow you. But yes, as Jake said, then they figure out that the two other pizzas have been delivered. And can I say, how long does this delivery guy must have been delivering these pizzas? Because
that pizza shop's the worst in the city. It's got to be right.
Got to be a couple hour job. Because then we get the first sight of the majestic Turtles blimp with turtles on the front. So if you wanted them to be incognito or not seen by the public or like being ninjas, having your brand logo printed on a massive blimp flying over the New York might not be the best idea.
I don't know. I think it's just, that thing where people are like, oh, New Yorkers, they never pay attention to anything. They could walk down the street in broad daylight and nobody would bat an eyelid.
Here.
But yeah, I did love as a kid how the bottom detached as well, and then that was like a glider, because like that somebody's put some thought into that. Because yeah, a blimp is like a terrible like getting around sort of device because you'll just be floating above everything. And now that they've got a glider, that's how they get
But
on the
I've got
rooftops.
a
So they can
Sure,
break into.
I'm sure it's made from the car that they got in the Teenage Dimension X
Yeah.
episodes.
all
I feel like
right.
there's some teenagers came from Dimension X that told them about Krang,
All
and they
right.
came
Oh
through the
yeah,
flying car. I'm sure that's
yeah,
Ah,
them.
yeah. No, I remember that. I've got a question about the glider.
yes.
So the the glider like glides, which is great. It lands on the roof, but then it just takes off. So how did it glide to
Yeah,
take off? It didn't. I know it's got
maybe
like
it does have propulsion.
propulsion, right? So why does it need the blimp if it's got its own propulsion?
Ask Donatello, not me.
Got
He
it,
does the machines.
machine man. But yeah,
The turtle van is superior though,
oh,
because
I
that's
love the
just
tail
like a
van.
party bus.
Yeah, the turtle
It's
van
got a
was.
mean face on the front.
It's iconic. The turtle van, like I say, it's one of
I
those.
used to have I used to have a tiny one that was about this big. It might be around somewhere, but it was one of those like pull back cars. And that's the only version I ever got as a kid because I never had the one that fit the action figures in.
Down there, but I'm not getting it out because it's not full. There's a few bits missing off it. But yeah, and like so we'll find out the pizza's being delivered to this New York pound house with these spoiled two little kids who, when
Yeah.
when the turtles rush in the house, they don't get freaked out by these turtles. They're just like, "Hey, man, you're not getting a piece of our pizza."
Yeah, they're just like, who are you anyway? Like, I'm not listening to you.
Yeah.
Quick, let's microwave the
it's,
pizza.
it's, it's like instantly not even trying to see if the pizzas are warm or anything. It's like, yeah, pizza
No,
cold. Go in the microwave.
it's a cartoon. You know, we got 20 minutes. We gotta like chop, move the story along. It doesn't
Speed it
have to make
along.
sense.
But yes, and then
Then,
the
then we
monsters.
get the whole weird thing where they're riding in the elevator and they
Mm.
can see one climbing down the walls, and like Vernon's like, oh,
But again, horror, like absolutely scary as
yeah,
out, like them little things going down the building, and that's
yeah,
when they jump in the glide. And, let's go, man, and like fly after them. Um, and as I said, them two go down a sewer drain, so then the turtles
yep.
follow them down, and then we find Shredder and Baxter Stockton walking
They're
through
just
this.
hanging about also.
Yeah, they're walking through the sewers, going, "Ha ha! We've got this remote that we can make the monsters do whatever they want or attack whatever they want." Because they're reading,
Yeah.
because Baxter's reading the instructions that's like pages and pages long.
But they don't say anything about making them grow. I think that just happens by accident.
No,
But
yeah,
yeah, so like everyone's in the sewer now, which it's
Mm.
the turtles. I'm sure everyone is in the sewer way more than in normal life.
That's a question
Side note,
I was going to ask Lee. So, if you were in New York, would you live in the sewers with the turtles?
No, you couldn't pay us to go and live in a sewer.
If you,
I was gonna
Even,
what I was gonna ask
even if I was
was
homeless, I would stay up where the people are, where I'm going to get spare change or food or whatever. I'm not going to go and live with all the poo.
in the Rat King.
Stay up there where the people are and see them.
I was gonna ask, when you were kids, did you ever try and pry open like a sewage drain cover just to see if you could see if there was a ladder in there? Like,
Possibly, but
Never
again,
was.
if any council workers are watching, no, I never did that in the Riot
we
area ever.
we never had a crowbar, so like you couldn't get much done without a crowbar or something, could you?
I mean,
Oh, there was
I
always
never
a metal
I
pipe
never
in
opened the
Riot.
round ones, but the slatted ones, like
Yeah.
I would pull them up, but it was always just like sludge or murky water in them, so you couldn't
That
climb down.
tasted terrible.
Oh, I still want to be like live with Sewer Lee, Sewer Cat Lee.
You're just trying to make him into Rickety Cricket at this
The
point.
Sorry, we'll get him to lose an eye one day, I promise you.
Oh no. So yes, this is where we get the horrible transformation, the giant xenomorph creatures.
How good was that though? How good was that transformation? Like, I don't know if it was just
the
water
music.
or was it
The music
sewer
was
water.
scary as well.
Yeah, I don't know if it was just a sewer water mixing in or it was like if they get wet, that's what happens. But the actual transformation was just brilliantly done. Like I was impressed. I was seriously impressed.
And then it was like, then there was the scary moment where no one knew when it was gonna pop up next. But yeah, we got the classic like Scooby Doo thing, didn't we? Where like it was behind like Raphael or Michelangelo,
Oh.
and he's like, what are you scared of, man?
Like Raph's like, oh, let's get them and kick their ass and stuff like that. And then
Yeah.
all of them's like walking away, and he's like, boo, boo, boo. But yes.
Yeah, it was the thing about the Xenomorph guys, they didn't really do anything.
No.
They kind of just walked around, and like there was one point where he like clawed a bit of rock off the wall. That was about the most dangerous thing they did. Your toy is actually better. It's more animated. Because most of the time, I think it's probably like they probably didn't want to animate a brand new character like that they've never drawn before for like one episode.
Yeah, no, I get that, and that's probably why. Like, I'm not saying I was disappointed at the end, but
Yeah.
I was like, this monster or this fiend that they've brought in, it looked fantastic, and I thought it
Yeah.
had such a presence in the episode. I know it's one of those things. If it was in probably too much, I'd be going, oh, I'm sick of that. Get the fuck out of here. But it was kind of like it left us wanting so much more. I was like,
Yeah.
oh, that would have been so much cooler if we get like, and they did something that like I know the turtles are the ultimate nice guys, but then the combined, and because with Donatello being the machine guy for some reason, he knocked the control out of Baxter Stockman's hand and into the
With
water.
reckless abandon.
Yeah, it's like Danny being all
like,
I've got a
it's like,
step,
check
and
this out.
yes, and then like they kind of teamed up with Shredder to fight them, and
They did,
I
yeah.
can't remember many episodes where they actually had to team up with Shredder, so it was quite an iconic moment, I thought, in the cartoon.
Yep, and he did his whole like, what did you do that for? Like, why did you push me out the way I had him? But
Lee would
yeah,
do
like,
that. I reckon Lee would do that. He would save Lee's life, and Lee would go, "What are you doing that? I was going to ninja roll out the way, do the whole like Mac from saying, oh, I was about to do a somersault backflip. Why'd you have to kick a lump of shit on us?" But yes,
yeah, we don't get
I would have
many
just died.
somersaults. Oh, okay, it really is nihilist Lee this week. Like, just gonna die in this. Just gonna die in the
I
sewer.
wouldn't be, I'm fat and old. I wouldn't be able to like roll out the way of any aliens. I would just die. I'm not ashamed.
Rest in peace, Lee. Who died in the sewer. That's on your gravestone.
yeah, let's pour one out for Lee.
Oh, but yeah, like you're right though, Paul. Like, it's not a very exciting end for the baddies because like they're like running and reading the manual, being like, a large jolt of power should make them go back to like the first stage, which is a very odd like you said, the mechanics of these creatures are very odd and don't
Yeah.
really make sense.
Like nothing about it makes any sense, but I felt a bit sorry because Michelangelo tries to be the hero of the day, and he dives into the sewer water and does what Turtles does and does all the like swimming and stuff. Goes to the bottom, finds the remote control, and zaps it. And guess what's happened? It's all 90s because let's be honest, batteries in the 90s didn't last long. So if you had a Walkman or any like a CD player, like it might be a bit later in the CD player, your batteries lasted half an hour at the most. So the batteries in the remote ran out. So Mike's like, "Oh no, guys, what can we do?" And then is it Leonardo works it out and chops the wire, and then
he's like, let's smash open this like electrical box in the sewer
with
see what
reckless
happens.
abandonment. Like, I won't attack Shredder with a sword, but I'll chop everything else that's around us
the
up.
wires.
Yeah. So that kind of like jolts them back to the egg-like state.
Yep. This might have been where I learned that water conducts electricity, possibly, because it does like a nice cool jump from puddle to puddle, which I don't think happens in real life.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't want to test that hypothesis.
Paul, did you not test this when you were a kid? You tested everything else.
Not electricity. I knew electricity was bad. Okay.
The car battery.
Like, well, to be fair, we all licked batteries when we were kids, didn't we?
I did not. It sounded scary. I didn't want to lick a battery.
So on the next podcast, we're going to get some different batteries for Jake to lick to see what happens.
I mean, yeah, if they donate enough money to us in some fashion, I guess I'll lick a battery.
Oh, that's a
I
new.
want
That's a new.
receipts though.
Oh, that's got to be a new jackass. Let's get Lee and see what things we can make Jake and Lee lick. But yeah, but yeah,
Depends. Some things I'll lick for free. Others not so much.
pizza. Jake is always up for licking a pizza. But yeah, that sounds so wrong. But yeah,
It's
uh,
unnatural.
but we get we get like say like when they're defeated and everything, everyone's going back like yeah great, and Shredder and Baxter stop and like kind of sneak off in the most unobvious way ever, and they're climbing up and April O'Neil
Oh
goes
yeah.
look over there. It's like wait there, how could you not fucking miss it? But yes, and
also, did you notice that to shout at the turtles, like Shredder puts his entire upper body and arms through the hole. It's like what's he holding on to? He was just like completely upside down. And I'm just like, yeah, like he's just gonna fall in if he
to be
I
fair though,
love like cartoon logic where they just didn't think like what's he holding on to?
he'd just been demonstrating his ninja abilities on the sign,
Okay.
so he's probably using
Maybe
his
his
like
legs were like hooked backwards like across the floor.
It's like what you don't know about Shredder is his spine is made of elastic bands, so he can bend
Aye.
a million. He's not just Shredder; he's elastic Shredder.
Does 100 sit-ups and 100 push-ups every day.
Can you bend Shredder?
Which one have you got?
Can you bend? Can you do this way?
Oh, you've got OG Shredder
Yeah.
with his weird arms that aren't very good for playing
You
with.
know, did you ever hear the story? I know I'm going off on tangent. This. Did you ever hear the story about why they made Shredder like that stance?
Oh no, but is he supposed to be like in a vehicle or something?
No, it's just because they thought if they do him standing up straight, he was going to be.
Yeah.
He was too big for the boxes and too big for the
Oh,
turtles.
yes, actually, yeah, that's pretty huge compared to a turtle from the same toy line.
Yeah, so if that was
Oh, that's
legs
weird.
straight and everything, he would have been like towering over here. So they actually made him so he was around about the same size, and they didn't have to produce other size boxes.
That's kind of smart, but it's bad for the children. Like, it's bad for the customers to give them a weird hunched over bad guy with arms that don't work for like fighting pose.
I just don't know why he hasn't got a top on because he was never topless in the cartoons. So in the toys, it's like let's he's got a cape, but it's
Yeah.
like look at the abs of steel on Shredder there, abs of steel.
Also, I had the Super Shredder toy, like not the NECA sort of style, like, and he was like he was really small and squat as well, and he was like pink, and I'm like, yeah, I kind of get it, but it looked nothing like the one in the movie.
No.
I think the only thing that was cool was like he had the extra spiky shoulder pads. And the cape.
I'm not a fan of that Shredder that you've just pulled out, mind. It's just imagine that in the cartoon, like every scene, like I'll get your turtles. Just crab walking around everywhere.
My absolute favorite. Okay, I've got two favorite Turtles toys. Favorite action figure was one of the foot soldiers that could transform into like the gold foot soldier. You know, like when there was an episode.
Yeah.
There was an episode where they accidentally made like a super smart foot soldier. Like, you know, oh, what's that thing in Marvel? Like the Sentinel computer, Master Mold.
Master Mold.
It was
Yeah.
kind of, it was kind of like they made a Master Mold of one of them, and he was like gold, and he was one where you could flip his head round, so I could transform him into like the. And he had all the panels that would come off. And my second favorite Turtles toy was this car thing that had a big claw arm on the front, and when the claw touched an action figure, it would grab it and then turn it sideways, and it was supposed to like drive off with the turtles, like Shredder's like weird claw van.
All right, cool.
It had some tech on it because it had like a little trigger, so when it hit the action figure, the claws would like grab on.
There's two things I like never owned but always wanted to, and it's like one of the ones it's nigh on impossible to get. Can you remember the rat catcher toy, like the machine,
I don't remember the toys, but yes, I know like the design. But yeah, I never saw anything like that in the stores. I don't think.
There was a rat catcher like robot.
the robot or the JCB that's got the teeth on it.
No, like the
I don't know.
rope, like the little, like they were like in the cartoon,
Like
they were little that big, but they were like decent size in the toys.
a Mauser or whatever
Yeah,
they're
like,
called.
yeah,
Yeah.
they were
Looks like the Pizza Monster, but metal.
kind of, yeah,
I know.
a little bit, but they were done well. And the foot soldier spiders, like it had little feet on, but like it was like a spider, but it used to have the foot soldier carry him, and he used to have a mechanism where he used to grab, so you could like hover it
Right.
over things and grab things. That was always
Nice.
a cool little toy. But yeah, I
That's all we wanted as kids. We just wanted our toys to like interact with each other in some fashion, like so you didn't have to make it all up in your head.
no,
Because like I loved how the Batmobiles had all the weird like bits that would come out of the wheels and stuff, or like shoot missiles out of the bonnet. Like didn't have to make sense, but it was just cool that it could.
to be fair though, with like all my figures as a kid, I used to have loads of figures, but I used to just create a Royal Rumble. I used to have wrestling rings, so I
Yeah.
used to have like He-Man versus Lion-O in the main event of WrestleMania and stuff like that.
Oh, you're gonna say Snarf for a second?
Oh no, Snarf was a
Shut up,
good.
Snarf.
Tell you what though, Snarf was a good figure though. Snarf was well built. It, like if you got hit by Snarf, it would fucking hurt. Um, but
Like a brick.
it was like a fucking block of plastic. But yeah. So what did you think of the episode as a whole? Because I know we've talked about like in general, but I thought this like stands up. Like I know there's the cheesy bits which you're always going to get
Yeah.
with kids' cartoons, but as a whole, I think this is pretty well done for its time.
Yeah, like I didn't have like any problems with it other
Mm,
than maybe that the action wasn't very exciting, but
mm,
I think for this era of Turtles, like I was probably more there just to see the weird mutant and alien characters and like I wasn't really like I wasn't watching anything back then. Like,
mm.
you know, there was no anime that I'd seen. So I didn't know what good fighting sort of, you know, cartoon action looked like because it was all just this kind of stuff.
But I'll be honest, I was a little bit worried. What like when we picked this, I was like, oh, is this going to live up to like my memories of this cartoon? Just simply because
Yeah.
when we did the raccoons, and I was like, oh shit, the raccoons are shit. Not,
Yeah,
and
it was shit.
but watching this back now, I was like, yeah, great. I can see why I fucking love this, and I was like getting
Yeah.
it all excited again. And like as Lee said before, I wouldn't mind going back and saying like have a full Turtles like renaissance and go through them again just to try
The
and
first
experience.
three, the first 3 seasons or so are amazing. Like, and
Yeah.
they don't have like things just inside themselves as an episode. There's still, what's the word? Like canonically remember stuff from
Yeah.
previous
Continuity.
episodes, and they'll be like, "Oh, that the rat catchers from yesterday," and that'll be the previous episode.
Yeah.
The reference things all the time, and it's
And
not
then
just
those
like standalone episodes.
No,
then those rock
think-
men show up.
I don't
Oh,
remember
no.
anything happening in like that in any other cartoons as a kid.
no.
Everything
No.
was always standalone.
Yeah, because like we've watched a few things for this show that are like it just repeats over and over again. Like, fair enough, you could say like, oh, you know, the Beach Shredder every episode, but like it's like no, like sometimes it's like the Fly, sometimes it's like Krang is like the actual guy who's like wrecking stuff in the room. Um, Whereas like Thundercats, it was like they're always gonna fight Mumra, or He-Man, he's always gonna fight Skeletor. Like I know those like henchmen and stuff, but like those seem to be more like repeating things where it would just be like every episode's gonna end the same. But yeah, you're right. Like, you know, having Krang now trapped off world or trying to get to the world, like that is actually like storytelling. It's just the kind of fudge together like how they get there, I guess, because they were just like, I don't know, there's a pizza contest in the middle of New
Yeah,
York.
that's always going to be like the fun elements, like the child element. But like you can
Yeah.
tell the base or the backstory from the Turtles was made from like an adult's like quite dark and sinister comic, and it like where they went from that to what they have in this cartoon, it's absolutely night and day. But there's still the bones of it is still there, which I quite like. But you
They
can
made
tell
it like they made it for everyone, which
Mm,
nowadays everyone complains when you make when you like take a series and be like, we're gonna make something everyone can enjoy.
yeah.
But I guess back then it hadn't been done as many times.
Mm.
But like, yeah, like how insanely popular was that idea? Like to take a gritty old black and white comic and turn it into this. Like, I'm sure there was angry fans at the time, but like everyone else just totally fell in love, and then it created like an insane like media like giant that hasn't been stopped to this day.
I don't think like if you name any other like cartoons and stuff or like franchises, I don't think like where the turtles have done it's transcended like every little form it's done. It's done as you talked about the games,
Yeah,
the toys, the comics, the cartoons, the
movies.
movies. The music, like don't forget Turtle Power and like
Coming out of
Ninja,
your shell
go
too.
Ninja, go Ninja, go. Um, like everything kind of, it literally everything it kind of touched on, it was a hit, it was a success, and
Mhm.
they're still kind of relying on that success now. Because what was it, the last Turtles cartoon, which the animation style was fucking phenomenal. Like a lot of people were like weirded out,
Yeah,
but it was absolutely brilliantly done. Um, like that was only about
the
2-3 years ago,
yeah,
and I think for such a silly idea, if you think about it, mutated turtles with ninja powers,
yeah.
with
And
a
it's also a vague Daredevil parody at the same time, which is odd, like with the hand and everything.
Mhm.
Um, yeah, how is that successful?
Yeah,
It just
and
is.
it's just as I think a great idea done well, and when people have got their hands on it, they've treated with love and care. I know
Mhm.
there's been a few missteps from time to time, but I still get excited. Like, I dare anyone not to, like, if you saw the Turtles intro, you will not flick it off. You will not turn off. You
No.
will sit and watch it for that 30 seconds or 60 seconds, and you will be transported back to a childhood and just fucking love it.
Yeah. The thing about the music is like the episodes are bookended by excellent music, and then the stuff in the middle is like all weird synthesized fart music. And what's happening? Is this really what the music was like? Like behind everything? But yeah, when that end theme kicks back in, it's like, yeah, now we just get the instrumental version with the extra little bits and stuff, the nice loop.
We have had like a trip of some of the cartoons that we've watched, like the music used, like even though the raccoons
Yeah.
was like not the best thing, but the music in the raccoons was unbelievable. It was
Yeah.
like 80s rock synthesis there. But
Yeah.
this, as I said, anything that it does, it hits on the notes that takes you back to memories, and like it takes you back when you first saw the turtles or first saw and picked up like a stick and said, I'm Donatello, or you picked up the wrapping paper and thought you were Leonardo, you put three pencils in your fingers and thought you were Raphael. Um,
Or Wolverine.
yeah.
I love that. Also, this show made Shredder like a staple in
Mhm.
Turtles as well.
Mhm.
Like
Yeah.
the comic before this, I think this is the only media after the comic, is it?
Mhm. He died
Yeah.
Had
in the
this
second
like
issue.
yeah, yeah. I thought
Mhm.
it was the first episode, the
There
first
was,
issue. He dies.
I
Like,
think, second issue too. I think I could be wrong. Like, don't get us wrong.
but it's
Yeah,
It's
definitely it's
yeah,
at the beginning. He,
yeah,
he
yeah.
dies, and then it
yeah.
goes on for like another 100 issues or whatever.
Mhm.
Yeah, because it's like
But
the movie, like
Mhm.
how they kill him at the end of the movie, and I
Mhm.
don't
yeah,
think they wanted to bring him back, but I think they got forced to. It's there's the 2000s TMNT cartoon,
Mhm.
so that
yeah.
takes things a little bit more seriously, but it's still a cartoon. Um, and they actually sort of parody that moment where they totally do chop Shredder's head off, like in the comics. But then it turns out he's like a mech suit, and it's like there's a Krang inside of him, so they kind of play around with the whole like the Erdnauts or whatever they're called. Like there's one inside the Shredder suit, and that's why he's like unbeatable because he's like literally a friggin' cyborg or a mech suit. But it's interesting how that kind of stuff, like you say, like Lee, it's never gotten away from the turtles. It's become iconic, and
Mhm.
you can't really have anything without a nod to Shredder at least, or some kind of form of a knife guy.
I just wish I could come up with something like an idea like the turtles. Like it
Yeah.
was so off the wall. Like it's just amazing, and like just thinking of going, let's make a film. Okay, or make characters. Let's make like characters, and like Eastman. Was it Eastman and Ed? I can't remember.
Laird, yeah.
Laird, sorry.
And
And
they clearly look like stoners. Like, I'm
Yeah.
sorry, but like they were clearly just sitting around making like weird comics, like reading Daredevil and being like, this will be funny if we flip this on its head.
But everyone had to have a go in like in the 90s though, didn't they? And it was like, oh, we need something like this. What about we'll get some mice and like, oh, we'll have them as bikers. Oh, they're also from Mars.
God, yeah, we haven't even talked about like all of the copycats. Like, what was it, like Samurai Pizza Cats? Like, what else was there? So there's biker mice. There's the
The
Battle
Street
Toads,
Sharks.
Street
Street
Sharks.
Sharks.
Yeah.
I love Treat Sharks as a kid though. But I think it was just because I needed a new turtle. Like I'd watched the Turtles and I was kind of done with that, and then Street Sharks hit like a few years later, and
Street
they
Shark.
had toys as well. Awful rubbery toys.
Yes, they didn't feel good in the hands though. But yeah, if you haven't watched this episode, I do think like most people who like are very age will either have seen or have heard about this episode. Go and locate. It is honestly some of the most entertaining 20 minutes that you'll watch. And it will transport you back to a time of innocence, and it might even scare you a little bit at times as well. So yes, so that was my pick, the Turtles episode, Case of the Killer Pizzas. So be careful next time you eat your pizza, and don't put it in the microwave because you might turn into a little shit that starts eating everything and burning
ate
through.
the entire thing. Nobody apart from, oh yeah, we didn't talk about the stinger at the end where Michelangelo possibly keeps the eggs, and then they all start jumping around in the bowl, and everyone's like, he's like, regular meatballs, dude.
Yes, I'll get this dude eating the pizza. He's eating the pizza. He's eating the pizza. But yes, so Jake, it is your pick now for the next episode.
It is. And what I will say is, Lee, it's been great to have you. And one day we will do the TMNT 2000s cartoon crossover with this cartoon, and they also crossover with the comic book Turtles in like a TV special, like a multiverse. You may say adventure. But we will have to get you back for that. When we have a little break from the green machine.
Yes.
But yes, my pick is something that we've been joking about for years. I've got the proppies right here.
Oh,
Captain
no.
Planet.
You'll pay for this, Captain Planet.
And look what I got. Look what I got. Hang on.
Oh, he's got
Let me
the
just
hat.
shove this child's hat on my head.
Oh.
Yeah.
It's
really small.
He's a hero. He's gonna take pollution down to zero.
It hurts. It hurts. But yeah, I've actually picked 2 episodes as well. I did some research and I looked up what the best 15 Captain Planet's episodes was, and I picked 2 of them. So we're gonna do the first one, because obviously we need to get the intro to the character and everything. And then there's a one called Heatwave, which was supposedly good, and I was kind of like, yeah, we've had one of those this year. Ripped from the headline. So next time, me and Paul are gonna learn some lessons in this educational cartoon that I loved as a kid. Probably because my parents were hippies, and they wanted me to learn lessons from Sesame Street and Captain Planet. It worked though. I'm very good at recycling now. But yeah, the hippie parents also explains why my dad liked Ninja Turtles so much as well, and he did used to play the theme song on the acoustic guitar for me whenever I asked for it.
So bless. So Captain fucking Planet. Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It has another good song. We'll check it out. I'm
But
sure
yes.
Paul will put it up on the socials as a short.
Yeah, I'll find my way. Yes, but yeah, I'm excited for that. I'm gonna see if it's as bad as I remember. But yeah,
I think we're gonna be shocked at how good it is.
But yes,
I mean, look how good the toy is. Like he's got a string, so he can pretend he's flying.
Is this
Oh.
one, if you rub his chest, it shows up with pollution and you have to wash it off with water?
I don't think it. No, this is just gold paint.
Yeah.
But now he's got a weird thing in his back.
Looks
where
like
this thing
he's got a bit of
came
a
out.
wedgie there as well. So yeah.
It's an odd thing, but he has action as well. I guess his arms move. Ah!
So Captain Planet there. So yeah, so that'll be next week's episode. I'll try and knock something up fun for that one. But yeah, but yes, as Jake said, thank you, Lee, for joining us. You're one of our you're the second guest on the Toons. So you've got one now. Look forward to the day we can bring tiny little Chris on, and he can talk about the cartoons as well. But yes,
we have to find. I don't know which cartoon's his favorite. I think he likes Dragon Ball Z.
nobody likes Dragon Ball Z. It's a terrible thing.
Oh, that if you got Chris on instead of me on a Dragon Ball episode, I would be really upset.
We'll have the Game Grumps on if we ever.
Oh.
If you can figure out what 1 to 3 episodes of Dragon Ball Z Paul should watch to get an idea of what the show's like. I have no idea what those would be.
Oh,
Maybe just the first 3 until Raditz is gone. Is that enough?
And
possibly.
And have you got an announcement for what the next Grumps episode is going to be, Lee?
Yeah, we'll be recording that hopefully this weekend. It is Wall-E. Disney's
Wall-E.
Eva!
I think, which I'm pretty sure Lee and Chris are just gonna make fun of Wall-E for 20 minutes and make Paul sad.
But I bet not. The
absolutely
episode's
loved it.
only meant to be 15, so they keep going over. They keep running out of time.
We're gonna give them all the worst scores and be like,
I'm not going to make fun of Wall-E. I watched it the other day, and it's a lot better than I remembered. Very emotional. A really nice film.
he's a delight.
Yes. So that's our talk on the case of killer pizzas. And then he said the case of killer tomatoes. That's another cartoon we could go through. But yes,
I did watch that as a kid, but I don't remember anything about it.
No. So yes, thank you guys for checking us out. Please press that like button. Please share it. Please tell your friends all about the Toons Up North podcast. So, in the immortal words of the famous pig that is Porky, that's all, folks.
The hat is cutting off the circulation to my brain.
Bye.
It really is.